3 Paranormal Road Trip. Story 1. In 2005, my wife and I, along with some friends, were embarking on a Scandinavian road trip. We were excited to explore Helsinki, Stockholm, Gothenburg, and Denmark. As we drove towards our destination, we parked the car on a small embankment and went off to explore the town. We had a great time admiring the picturesque village and its charming architecture. But as we were leaving, I made a grave mistake. As I stepped down on what I thought was the brake, I realized too late that I had pressed the clutch instead. The car wouldn't stop, and slowly, we began to go over the embankment. Our spouses screamed in horror, and one of our friends tried to control his fall by grabbing onto the car ceiling. I expected the worst as the car started to tilt forward, thinking it would surely flip over and be severely damaged. But then, something miraculous happened. Suddenly, the car stopped. The two front wheels were in midair, and we all got out carefully, assuming the worst. We looked around, and our surroundings seemed surreal. It was like time had stood still, and we were suspended in midair, unable to move or comprehend what was happening. As we got out of the car, we realized that a large rock had come loose and had wedged its way under the vehicle, stopping it from tumbling forward. We felt a sense of gratitude and relief wash over us, like it was a divine intervention. But our ordeal was far from over. We knew we had to get the car back up to the top of the embankment, but we didn't know how. The store manager at the Fisker's factory store quickly understood our predicament and made phone calls to the Finland Auto Association, but all their trucks were either tied up in a large accident or not available. The store manager then called the town engineers, and they sent out a truck driver to survey the situation. The driver returned, shaking his head, saying he needed help. They came back with another driver and a forklift to lift the level car with the rear wheels and ultimately put it back into the original parking space. Story 2. I had always heard about the strange happenings and eerie paranormal activity in the Bridgewater Triangle, a mysterious 200 square mile area located just 30 miles south of Boston. But I had never experienced any of it for myself until now. It was a dark and eerie night in 1976, and I was driving my car through the infamous Bridgewater Triangle with my young son. As we drove along the quiet road, we enjoyed the silence. We suddenly noticed an unusual glow in the sky. At first, we thought it might be a star or an airplane, but the light was too bright and too close. As we drove closer, we saw an object unlike anything we had ever seen before. It was a glowing orb hovering above a nearby pond. The object was pulsating with a strange energy, and my heart was racing as I pulled over to the side of the road. My son and I sat in the car, watching in awe as the object descended and hovered over the pond. Suddenly, the object emitted a blinding beam of light, illuminating the entire area around the pond. I was frozen with fear, unsure of what to do. I tried to start the car, but the engine wouldn't turn over. We were completely trapped, with nowhere to go but to watch as the strange object continued to hover above the pond. As we sat there in the darkness, my son and I could feel the weight of the silence and the fear that had overtaken us. Suddenly, without warning, the object shot off into the sky with incredible speed, leaving us alone and bewildered in the darkness. After a few moments, I managed to start the car and drove away from the pond as fast as I could. As we drove down the dark, winding road, I couldn't shake the feeling of dread that had settled over me. Many others have reported similar encounters with strange lights and objects in the sky, leading some to believe that there's something truly otherworldly at work in this mysterious corner of Massachusetts. To get the warning signs and dangers that may lie ahead, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Story 3. the Mothman. On November 15th, 1966, it was a somber day, and the road was quiet. The area was desolate, and the abandoned buildings added to the eerie ambiance. I was driving down State Route 62 with 3 of my friends. We were getting closer to the abandoned National Guard Armory building and power plant when something caught our attention. The atmosphere around us suddenly became unusual, and we had a feeling that something was off. I became increasingly uneasy, and I started to check all the mirrors in the car, but I didn't stop. As we drove, we suddenly saw a figure standing in the distance, about 6 to 7 feet tall. Its giant red eyes shone like beacons in the darkness, and we could barely believe what we were seeing. Panic set in as one of my friends, who was driving the car, tried to speed away towards town. However, to our horror, the creature followed us, rising up like a helicopter and effortlessly gliding even as we reached a speed of 100 miles an hour. As we drove, fear took hold, and we were unsure what to do. We had never seen anything like this before, and the creature's appearance was unlike anything we had ever encountered. The next day, the entire town was in a frenzy, and people were arming themselves with hunting rifles, determined to find the creature that had shaken us to our core. The local newspaper, the Point Pleasant Registry, ran a headline that read, "Couples see man-sized bird, creature, something," which only heightened the fear and uncertainty in the town. For several nights, the townspeople searched for the creature, but it remained elusive, leaving us all on edge and fearful of the unknown. Looking back on that night, I still feel a shiver run down my spine. The Mothman was a creature unlike any other, and its appearance changed our town forever. It remains a mystery to this day, but its impact on our lives is undeniable, and it's something that will never be forgotten. But the sightings didn't stop there. In fact, they continued throughout the following year, often leaving witnesses with a deep sense of dread. Newspapers dubbed the creature Mothman, and many locals speculated that it lived in a vacant nuclear power plant outside of Point Pleasant. Some even believed it was an escaped product of a secret government experiment. But then something truly horrific happened. In December 1967, the Silver Bridge, which carried U.S. Route 35 over the Ohio River, collapsed under the weight of heavy rush hour traffic, killing 46 people. Was it just a coincidence? Or was there something more sinister at play? Despite the bridge collapse being later attributed to a fault in the suspension chain, conspiracy theories continued to spread. In 1975, writer John Keel wrote a book titled The Mothman Prophecies, linking the bridge collapse with the Mothman sightings. In it, Keel suggested that the sightings were bad omens about the impending bridge collapse. From encountering mysterious hitchhikers and disappearing motel rooms to unexplainable paranormal sightings, these stories serve as a reminder that the open road can lead to unexpected terror. So, the next time you hit the road, be sure to keep your eyes peeled and your wits about you. You never know what horrors could lurk just around the bend. If you encounter any paranormal activities like this, let us know in the comment section below. Oh, by the way, we'd absolutely love for you to join our Discord community and share in the fun with us. Plus, if you have any horror or paranormal true stories that you think would be perfect for our future videos, we'd be delighted to hear from you. Just send us an email with your story. You'll find all the necessary information in the description. I look forward to connecting with you.